Welcome back, Shalligators. Excuse my long absence. I had a chemical peel and I literally couldn't even like be out in public, let alone on the internet, because I couldn't wear makeup. I was an ugly mess. If you want to like get a recap on what an actual chemical peel is like, head on over to my Instagram and check out my reels. I documented it all day, every day, and you can see what it is. But I feel prettier. I feel like my skin is like even, the texture's good. Enough about my face. Let's talk about the Bachelor Nation breakup between Bachelorette Clare Crawley and her fiance of just a few months, Dale Moss. There are some things that are emerging, namely, she was kind of the last to know that they were done. So today we're going to talk about fuckboys, life goals not aligning, can you change a fuckboy, and what to do if you have been blindsided by a breakup. I'm going to give you some real world strategies on how to combat this, what to say on social media, and how to spin the narrative so that you come out looking not quite like a fool. And actually, maybe he will, because this dude, I'm going to drag this man to hell. But before we get started, I want to announce some brand new things here in the Shallontourage. If you tuned in last night to XO Radio, thank you. That's right. We have a brand new radio show. I am now a premium host on Stationhead. You can listen to my radio show every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern time. You can listen either on the app, or you don't have to listen to the app. You can just listen via desktop. But if you have the app, you can comment, you can call in, you can request songs. It's so cool and so interactive. And yesterday's episode, we broke down Taylor Swift songs. It was about an hour-long show, and we just talked about like the life lessons from so many of her tunes. Next week, we're going to be talking about Billie Eilish tracks. So head on over there. Also, a new thing. I'm so excited to announce a brand new project, Eat, Pray, Love. You probably saw me teasing it on my Instagram. Eat, Pray, Love is a new blog newsletter from me. It's something you can sign up for. You're going to get 2 to 3 posts a week directly into your inbox. But what is it? So I wrote a blog like for 10 years in New York City just for my friends, and it was my diary. It was unfiltered and raw and sometimes messy and sometimes beautiful, but it was just who I was, and it helped me make sense of my feelings and also keep my friends connected to me. And it was like my heart and my soul. And I haven't done that since I moved to Montana, and I feel like my brain is getting clouded with my own emotions because I'm not journaling them out. And I thought, you know what? Why not bring you guys in on this? So you guys know that my advice is fueled by my real experiences. You know, I'm the general in the trenches with you, and these are basically my war stories. Like, this is my life as it happens. And no, it's not going to be like any other thing that I do. It's not going to be like perfect, tidy advice and a nice little bow. It's going to be like, today is a hard day. Today's a messy day. Today is a sexy, lusty day. Today I did this. Like, sometimes things are going to be funny. Sometimes they're emo, but it's all going to be really real. And I know that when I do share things that are really real, you guys respond really well to it, and it makes me feel less alone, makes you feel less alone. And one thing I love about the Shallontourage is the sisterhood and how we just come together. And it's been really easy to feel alone in the last year, because we are like physically so isolated. We feel emotionally isolated. We have anxiety, and it's like, let's build those bonds. And so this is kind of me stepping out on a limb and doing that. And I feel very confident in this channel, confident in my podcast, confident in other stuff. I don't feel confident being emotional and sharing that, because I'm supposed to have all the answers, you know? And this is in real time how I gain those answers. And I think we can all kind of bond over that. So if you want to click the link, you can subscribe and join me there. Also, InStream has rebranded as Flays, which sounds like a SoundCloud rapper, I said. And I'm committing to 4 videos a month, a video every Friday, a sexy little topic. Tomorrow, we're going to have a topic about threesomes. If you're thinking about bringing someone else into the bedroom or being a guest star yourself, I'm going to give you some tips on everything from emotionally how to handle it to logistically how to physically get one started, because that's kind of the hard part. So head over there and check that out. Okay. So speaking of messy with no tidy bow, fucking man, Clare Crawley. So Clare was the Bachelorette last year, and I was so excited for her to be the Bachelorette. She's 39. She's a hairstylist. She's not just like, I want to be an influencer. Like, she seems like she's got a real life. I love that she's a little bit older. She's a grown-up, you know? She's not like, I feel like The Bachelor and The Bachelorette, these people, they're like 23. They're all named Lauren or Hannah. Every single one of them. I don't think you can get on if you're not named Lauren or Hannah. And they're just like, I'm so ready to find my soulmate. You need to be ready to find your first fucking apartment. You just graduated. Like, how can you possibly want to get married that young? I don't know, man. Like, we're going to talk about all that when we break down the Jessica Simpson book. Our Shall Literature book club selection is the Jessica Simpson memoir open book. If you guys have read it, please comment down below and tell me like what's bubbling up and like what kind of, you know, what you think about it so that we can like use that as a springboard for the topics. But anyway, so Claire went on The Bachelorette. She was the Bachelorette and like she was like, boom, struck like a thunderbolt by such a fuckboy. This guy Dale Moss. Now he is a smoke. He looks so much like my ex Joe. He looks almost exactly like in some photos on his Instagram. I'm like, whoa, crazy. Joe's actually hotter. Maddie, you know. But it was just like the Dale and Claire show to the point that like he proposed super fast and she had to leave and they brought the new chicken. So people were like, oh, Claire, like, do you really know each other that well? Is he just doing this for fame? Well, the way they broke up seemed to validate everyone's concerns about this guy. He issued a statement that's like, you know, we're moving on. Like one of those like, breakup, love and respect and privacy. And she came out with her own statement that was like, I didn't know about this at all. This is what she had to say on Instagram. I was made aware of a mutual statement at the same time you all were, so I've needed some time to really digest this. Speaking for myself, my intentions with this relationship have always been very clear, so the truth is, I am crushed. This was not what I expected or hoped for, and I'm still trying to process this. 2020 was one hell of a year with COVID, battling anxiety post-show, balancing a public new relationship, all while slowly losing my mother. God. It hasn't been ideal circumstances, but that is life, right? I have been looking forward to the light at the end of the tunnel. Our relationship was not perfect, but I can say that I was genuinely invested with all of my heart. I may not have all the answers, but I do know this. I will continue to show up, stand by my word, and be committed to love. That makes me sad. It makes me sad and it makes me angry because didn't we not all see this coming? If you look at this man's Instagram, his Instagram is a garbage fire of douchebaggery. Like he's one of those like rise and grind. Hey guys, it's your boy Dale, rise and grind, team no days off. You're like, shut up. You're 32. Who cares? You know, fine. You can still be a child at 32. Everyone's still growing up. And I think that that's one of the lessons here. It's like, you look at Claire and you're like, she's 39. She should know better. There is no age limit on fuckboys getting their hooks in you. And this is why I do this channel, right? Because it's like, I remember when I was younger, I had this concept that I would just grow out of everything. I would grow out of my eating issues. I would somehow shoot up 4 inches and lose 30 pounds like magically overnight. I would grow out of my poor financial planning. I would grow out of my penchant for fuckboys. And then around like 28, you're like, oh no. Oh no. I don't want you guys to be 28 when you realize that. I want you to be today years old, because that means you have to do the work and come up with the emotional toolbox so that you aren't fleeced by people like this, because you will be fleeced by fuckboys until you're 88, not 20. This will go on forever. You know why? The older you get, the better these douchebags get. They're like any virus. They adapt and they mutate and feed off their host. So we can't just think that like, oh, it'll just evaporate. No, girl. If it can happen to Claire, it can happen to me. If it can happen to like J-Lo, it will happen to all of us. So age is no insulation. But yeah, you look at this dude's page and he is just such a cheese dick. He's just like, I don't know how anyone could look at him and be like, this is a guy who's gonna settle down, who's not gonna cheat on you. I've read so many blind items that he was fucking like every single person he could. Like while he was with Claire and she was so in love with him and he was just like whoring his way across America, perhaps international. I mean, this photo, Good hashtag good vibes only. Shut up. Hashtags, nothing makes me want to sew my vagina shut and never use it again more than like a dude who posts a selfie and then like hashtags like positivity, gratitude, swole mate, team no days off, rise and grind. Blah! I can't imagine having that person on top of me. Get away from me. You're beautiful, and I'm sure his penis is enormous and he is very good at sex. Very good. But at some point you have to stop having sex with someone. Oh my God, this is gross. Damn, it feels good to be back. Hashtag New York. Hashtag mood. You put me in a mood too, Dale. You put me in a mood, and it's not a good one. The Bachelor and the Bachelorette franchise, it has to stop. Because I think that there are some people who go on there, women, genuinely looking for love. Like I think Clare Crawley genuinely was looking for love. Claire, what kind of man is going to be impressive on television? A douchebag. Reality TV, I've had my own reality TV show. It is a beast unlike any other, and it's not for everyone. And some of my friends who were like so dynamic and funny and everything in real life, the camera got on them and they're like, cameras change people. And the people who just like vibe with it and roll with it and don't care, watch out. I'm saying that about myself too. I am a bit of a douche. And I'm great on camera. I'm very socially fluid. I'm a bit of a fuckboy and a douchebag. You know, I don't blame people for being like, no thanks. I truly don't. But like, especially guys, like I feel like girls are like better on camera. You know, like we can roll with the punches a little bit more. A quality guy probably isn't going to be great on camera. You know, he's going to be like uncomfortable. He's going to want like real intimacy. So the people who are going to try out for the Bachelorette to be the suitors, they're not the guys you want to marry. And this dude is proof positive. What do we say about a fuckboy? What do we say about a fuckboy? What is he? Boom. He's a firework. He's a firework. What's a firework? Big flash, big bang. You just started. That's so cool. What does a firework do when you get too close to it? It burns you. And at the very best case scenario, maybe you don't get burned, but it's here, boom, and then it's gone. It's here for a good time, not a long time. Quality man? Well, he's a fireplace. Takes a minute to warm up. You got to build it right. You got to nurture it. You got to watch it. Okay, I'm going to put some effort into this thing, and then it's going to get going. And then you know what it's going to do? It's going to keep me warm for a very long time. Quality guys need a minute to get going. You guys ask me questions about like Tinder dates and like, I went on this date with the guy and I didn't really feel it. And I'm like, you know what? Give it 2 or 3 dates. I'm not saying like push through or settle or date someone who you have no chemistry for, but you would be surprised how quality guys take a minute to get going. My biggest fuckboy here in Montana, firework. I met him and I was like, like my soul left my body, firework. But that boy burned me. I got too close and I got burned. My ex-boyfriend, I hate saying ex, it's so weird. Vince, fireplace. We didn't even kiss till like date 5. Like he was a gentleman, he was proper. And I remember on our first date, I was like, yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know where this is gonna go. But as the date went on, he loosened up, I loosened up. The next date, even more, we bonded more. Fireplace. But had I not had the wisdom and the maturity to give it that time to develop and to heat up, I would still be stuck on the firework. It's hard not to do that. But dudes who have this like clock that seems to be ticking, well, when am I gonna see? I gotta see you all the time. When are we gonna fuck? Come on, let's do it. Oh, I really like you. Do you know why they're so impatient? Because they're at a drive-through. You are drive-through pussy to them. I know is that vulgar? It is vulgar, but we need to walk in the light of the truth about how men are speaking about us, either to their friends, or to the public, or even in their own mind. How are they casting us? What role are we in? They're in a drive-thru, and I have never been more impatient than when I'm in the drive-thru at McDonald's. Because if I'm at McDonald's, something has gone very wrong in my day. Very wrong. I haven't eaten. I'm on a road trip. I'm exhausted. I'm hungover. And I'm like, I just need these French fries. Like, something is bad. When I'm at a nice restaurant, I want to take my time. No rush. Can you give us 5 more minutes? That's great. You know what? We'll do another round of cocktails before we decide. I'm taking my time. And that's how a quality man behaves. He's taking his time. There's no rush. He's not going anywhere. He is still getting warmed up himself. Fireplace. Dale, this quickie engagement, so many red flags there. What's the rush, bro? Is it because you know that your attention is really only 8 months long? Maybe less. I mean, if he's been fucking other girls this whole time, his intention might have been his attention, not intention. Well, both. Maybe it was only 8 days long. If a man is rushing you through this process, it's because he knows drive through. He's not here for a long time. Firework. So that is a huge red flag about a fuckboy, because sometimes we don't know. When you're in the middle of the storm, the fuckboy storm, it doesn't feel like he's a fuckboy. It just feels like love. It feels like, oh my God, this is it. This is what it's supposed to feel like. It's supposed to just be like, whoa, this rush. Yes and no. It is supposed to feel emotionally like you are supposed to be happy, but underneath that happiness is not a feeling of rushed, is not a feeling of anxiety, is not a feeling of like, this car is going really fast. It's a feeling of peace. It's a feeling of being understood. It's a feeling of, I don't need someone to co-write all my texts to this guy because I'm so nervous that if I say one wrong thing, it's just going to evaporate, right? What's that phrase? I'm fragile like a bomb, not fragile like a flower, something like that. Dynamite is fragile, and dynamite creates fireworks. And we got to handle, I don't want to mess up. I don't want to say the wrong thing, do the wrong thing. I can't tell him I'm on my period before we hook up. He's going to run away. If we have that in our mind, that something is that fragile, that we can't slow things down, if we can't be honest, we got to let it break. I guarantee you, there were things in Claire's relationship that she just didn't want to address. In fact, sources say exactly that. A source says that, there were a lot of life differentials between them. She wanted him to move to Sacramento and he wasn't keen on that. I mean, I get that. Sacramento. I thought she lived in like Atlanta. Whatever. I don't want to live in Atlanta either. I want to live in Montana only. And also she was really into having kids like ASAP. He wasn't. She's 39. You can't blame her for being like, okay, I'm ready to like look at the next chapter of my life. I don't want to be a 50-year-old like new mom. But this is how we become easy targets to fuckboys. And even more so because fuckboys kind of target everyone. They're like net fishing. They're not individual line casting. They're like, whatever I drag up from the depths of this murky lake, I'll take. We become twisted over fuckboys when we also have an agenda. When we're in a drive-through of our own, right? I gotta have a baby. I gotta get married. Girl, you can have a baby without some fuckboy. Go to the bar, find the tallest man you can, get pregnant, never tell him about it. Like, if you really want a baby and you want a minimum amount of hassle, that's the way to do it. Go down to a sperm bank, pick out a Harvard grad, there you go. Go adopt a baby. They're everywhere. There are so many kids who need homes. People in this obsession with like birthing out a baby. I can't. I would love to adopt. I'm so here for it. My nipples are amazing. I really like where they're at right now. And I don't want to mess with that. Anyway. So Claire has her agenda too. And so what is Dale? He's a getaway car, right? He's an emotional getaway car. He's clearly using her as a getaway car too for fame. He's like an aspiring host, ex-NFL player. Cool, great. He's trying to be an influencer. Oh my God, can you imagine anything grosser than dating a man who wants to be an influencer? I am an influencer. And I understand if guys are like, ugh, I get it. I can't think of anything grosser than a male influencer. It's so off-putting and gross. It's the grossest. You have to be a real gross person to do this job. I'm like a fun gross. Like I'm your big sister gross. I never tag like good vibes or rise and grind or team no days off. It's more like team every day off. So Claire had her own agenda. And that blinded her to the reality of him because she was operating under this ticking clock where it's like, I have to get married. I have to find someone. And oh my God, he's in this drive-through too. He is on this same path too. Girl, we have to always keep ourselves fortified, self-aware, walking in the light of the truth about what's driving me. Is it my intuition? Is it my soul? Or is it that fear-based brain? I get that maybe she doesn't want to have a kid at 40 or 41, but wouldn't you rather wait 1 year and have a quality man in your life? They'd be like, no, it has to happen now. It has to happen by the time I'm 30 or 35 or whatever it is, and then be stuck in this awful dynamic literally for the rest of your life? So what about getting blindsided by these breakups? Because it's very obvious that Clare was. I mean, she says that. I think it's so fucked up. And to me, this is exactly proof positive that he's a garbage person, that he wouldn't have the respect for her to be like, hey, like, this is what I'm going to say. Or even like, this is over between us. It just speaks to a deep disrespect, right? And he was doing this to control the narrative, to make it look like he's the one who walked away, because what a fucking child. I think beyond the age of like 19, I will not insult 18-year-olds, beyond the age of like 10, who cares who breaks up with who, right? It's just so like, it's so disrespectful. It's like, well, I dumped him. It's like, what are you, 11? Like, relationships are so complicated. And if that is how other people are viewing your relationship, good for you. You dumped him. It's like, have you ever actually dated someone or been in love? And if you have, did you have any respect for that person at all? It's just so weird and childish to look at things like that, because as adults, healthy adults can acknowledge, like, actually, we both contributed to this outcome. Maybe one of us was the one to walk away, but it's called a breakup because it's broken, and it really does take two to tango. So for Dale to come out and try to spin this narrative like he was the one who called it quits, like, what a punk, and what a non-gentleman. A gentleman would let the woman say what she needs to say. Not anything slanderous or mean, but like, he would give her the time, let her. So if this is happening to you, I think you do exactly what Clare did. She got out in front of this, and she didn't try to pretend like, yeah, it's mutual and just respect and privacy. She's like, this is the first time I'm hearing about this too, because you know what that does? That endears us to her. She looks so real. And who among us can't relate to that feeling of, holy shit, what? What do you mean? How was I the last to know this? When exactly were both feet outside the door? We can all relate to that. And if you can't, go fuck yourself. Like, honestly, if that's the kind of person you are, you're like, Clare got dumped. Like, what is wrong with you? Clearly, you've never been inside the dating arena. I mean, you're someone who just doesn't play. You're Monday morning quarterbacking. You think you are like above this, and actually, you're not even on the field. So sit on down. I look at her and I feel a tremendous amount of empathy. We've all been in that situation. And by doing that, by telling the plain truth, like, I didn't know about this at all, and this is so painful, and I was all in, and I want to make this work. That's what an adult says. That's what an adult does. They're like, this life is messy, and no, it wasn't perfect, but I was invested because that's the commitment I made as an adult and as a fireplace myself. So by doing that, she makes Dale look like a clown. I think he looks like a clown, like a mean-spirited, immature, petty child. A child. And she, by being raw and open like that, I think she comes out absolutely on top without necessarily even trying to. And it's so tough in this age of like public breakups, even if you're not a public figure. I mean, if you've been posting your boyfriend on Instagram or Snapchat and then you break up, it's like, what do I say? I mean, it's funny how there's like engagement photo shoots. There's no divorce photo shoots. Like, you locked in the bathroom, like crying because he said your taco casserole was too salty. Like, that doesn't happen. But if you're creating a story arc for people, and if this is how the story ends, don't people not deserve to know the truth, but like, don't you kind of have to address it at some point? Or do you meet someone else and suddenly it's like, well, who's this guy in your Instagram? Who the hell is this person? It's really tricky. I understand that better than anyone. I get it. And it is very tricky. And it's like there's no right answer. But I think just honesty is. As much as you want to, you don't have to be like, and then he did this, and then he did that. But you can be like, you know what? Yeah, this is a very painful breakup. And again, if someone's going to slag you for being a human with real emotions, smoke those people out. Smoke them out. Because why would you live your life to try to insulate yourself from the slings and arrows from those losers? Because they're losers. They're fucking losers. If that's how people are treating you and feel about you getting your heart broken, they're not your friends. They're your enemies. And why would you dim your truth or lie or come up with all these stories to please your enemies who are going to find fault with you no matter what? That bitch on Cheer, she is going to talk shit on you, whether you get engaged tomorrow, whether you get dumped by the captain of the lacrosse team, no matter what, she is going to find some problem with you. So why be on emotional eggshells to please her? I don't think so. I want to know your experience with fuckboys. I want to know your experience with getting blindsided by a breakup. And I know that we took a lot of different lanes in this video, but there's a lot to say about this because it's just like, oh, Claire, do you think Claire and Dale will get back together? Has this dude always struck you as just a cheese dick? He's so cheesy. Like I said, be sure to head over to Flays for a brand new video tomorrow on threesomes. Tune into my radio show next Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern time, and sign up and subscribe to Eat, Pray, Love for all the unfiltered stuff going on behind the scenes. I'll see you later, Shalligators.